Hello, beautiful human. It's Angela the Roseheart. It is my pleasure to be back with you on YouTube. For those of you new to my content, I am a modern shaman, a visionary guide, a soul catalyst, and today I am embodying the oracle of the awakened feminine by none other than Mother Mary herself. Mother Mary has been coming through loud and clear, very strong for several months now, and it's accelerating. In fact, I have received so many downloads from our beloved Blessed Mother in the month of October. It's really quite humbling and yet exciting because she has so much to share. Good messages of hope and strength and courage for humanity. And this episode is dedicated to her messages on behalf of all of us so that we can kind of connect to good energy, things that will bring us fulfillment, joy, courage, love, strength, all of it. So for those of you who are interested and open to receive her messages, this is for you. So as for this episode, it's going to come in 3.5 parts. And the first is I want to share with you, I just did a new rebrand. If you're more curious about me and what I am about, please visit my website at theroseheart.com. And this month, because of Mary, you'll notice there that I have 30-minute oracle readings. Feel free to schedule a 30-minute oracle reading from the Divine Mother or a different set of cards. I'm offering that as kind of my featured go-to offering this month. Also, I am going to be downloading a direct channel from Mary today that I have. It will be on my blog. So again, at my website at roseheart.com. If you find comfort in her words, you may download it and print it yourself. Keep it for anytime you need a little lift. She is coming in again hot and very, very intentional with her messages to the collective. And that means you and I, all of us. And she wants me to explain, so the first part of this video, I'm going to explain my journey, my connection to Mary, how I became the Roseheart in her name. She gave me the name. I want to explain all of that, how that has unfolded. Then we'll get into the message itself. And then if time permits on your schedule, I will kind of unpack that a little bit more. So if you're ready to go, here we go. So several years ago during my spiritual awakening, Mother Mary came to me in the funniest way. Actually, I was unloading my dishwasher in the morning, and everything happens to me in the mornings. I've always received downloads in the mornings, and she was there in my kitchen and surrounded by beautiful red roses. Now, I was raised Catholic. I was very much a participant in Catholic Mass. I was a cantor for over 20 years. I'm very familiar with the liturgy. So I always had a relationship or a dynamic with Mary, Jesus, the saints, etc. But there was a point where, let's say 10 years ago or so, I left the church for various reasons, and I was no longer a practicing Catholic. But those roots are still there, right? Like I still understand what truth is, what the divine embodiment means, and to live the life of Christ consciousness. I get all of that, and I accept all of that. So she shows up out of the blue, and I go up into meditation, and I ask to see her again, and she's there before me. And she's carrying a basket of red roses, and she hands me a rose, and she calls me daughter. And she tells me that there's magic in the number 3, which I already knew is the number of magic and miracles. And 3, by the way, if you see a triangle that's facing downward, it is the feminine symbol. The 3-sided triangle facing downward is the symbol for the womb. It is womb magic. It is the divine feminine symbol for creation. And she said, anytime you are in connection with a woman that you care about, from your heart of friendship, extend to them a rose and understand that I will be with you, the 3. So you have a rose, she has a rose, and there will be a rose for me. I am with you in connection, in love, and community and connection. So I didn't say that correctly, but in other words, always know there's strength in 3. That spilled over into my practice. So every time I have a private client session, with a one-on-one session in my home or at a studio with a woman, I always hand her a rose, or she picks her rose, and then she picks a rose for the Divine Mother, and then I have my own rose, and we come together to alchemize what it is the Divine Feminine is seeking at that time. Then another time she came forward and she said, take a walk with me. So we're taking this walk, and she went like this with her hand, and I could see behind her like this sepia, this old dusty brownish beige scene, like an old photograph. And there were these dead bodies on the ground. Now, it just wasn't modern times. I would say it was perhaps maybe medieval times. But there were these men on the ground who appeared to be dead. But they had these bright red open roses on their chest. And I said, "What am I looking at? What are you showing me?" And she said, "You are the rose heart. You are here to restore the hearts and minds of those who seek your help and counsel." And at first I did not understand what she meant. And I said thank you. And I was a bit stunned, as I'm sure you can imagine. So the rose took on additional meaning, but as the petals unfold, you don't know what the magical beauty will look like until it fully blooms. So fast forward again, I'm in my first client session, and it is at my dear friend Laura. She said, "I'll go first." And she set some intentions that she wanted to clear. So we decided to do like a chakra clearing session, and I was guided to start in her root. And something really interesting happened. As her intention cleared in that lower realm of her body, I started to see this wave of rainbow energy. And it was 3 soft colors of like light blue, light yellow, and light pink. Like the childlike unicorn, fairy dust type of rainbow energy that children love. So I'm seeing it in her body. Then the most spectacular thing happened. As the energy cleared, and once it hit her heart exploded into this amazing, gorgeous, hard to describe pink rose. It was her inner rose heart. I was so inspired by that I did my best. I'm not known for my artistic abilities, but I hope you can see this. This was my dedication to the rose heart, because what ended up happening is that the rainbow energy flows all the way through the body. So the heart, visualize the heart as the center of the cross. Okay, and you have the upper, the lower, and all through. Because energy and our blood flow, all of that goes together, right? It's constantly moving, even when we are at rest. So that to me embodied a new meaning of the cross, the Trinity. And that was also tied back to Mary's meaning, even though it was in the form of a triangle. It was the grand trine, or the Trinity of divine feminine healing, of purpose, compassion, love, alchemy. So again, this is moving through me as I'm going through my phases, not understanding it fully, because just the petals are just starting to open. So now I'm fast forwarding, and I'm into this time period, and I was preparing for my Radiant Rebirth event in June. And I have a dear friend, her name is Jossa. She is also a shamanic practitioner in the Pittsburgh area. And she has a beautiful temple in her home that she constructed during the summer months, dedicated fully to Mary. Now, she's the only other shamanic practitioner locally, or person locally, that I know who has a unique connection, at least that I'm aware of, to Mary as I do. And so Mary has been working with Jossa for many, many years, and there's a whole beautiful story behind that. But there were some magical things that came through for me during that session with her in the Temple of Mary. The very next day, I was unpacking a lot of this information. And Mary said to me, first of all, she spoke to me in a voice that was much broader, okay, and her energy was much more powerful. So we're all familiar with the soft, gentle woman that she is, the embodiment of the Christian Catholic Virgin Mary. What I want people to know is there is so much more power to her brilliant magnificence, and that is starting to show itself to me. And how she describes it to me is that the Spirit always meets us where we are. So think about me taking that first experience with her where she handed me a rose. That was like me being in kindergarten. And then I learned how to read perhaps in 3rd grade. Okay, and then she said, well, now you are the rose heart. And then that unfolded. And then now I'm in middle school. Okay, so she's explaining to me the new things, the new information that I'm ready to synthesize at this stage of my journey with her. And as you see, I'm not done. Okay, my petals are still unfolding, as all of ours are. So as she's talking to me, she said to me, as clear as day, "You are my oracle. I will speak through you. I will provide inspiration and guidance for you to help awaken the divine feminine. So when I went through my rebrand, because I have gone through all of that with some delightful, amazing women, one of my taglines is Oracle to the Awakened Feminine. And it's really oracle to anyone open to receive, including masculines who are trying to balance their inner feminine energy, because we all have both masculine and feminine within us. But she is the core source of inspiration coming through. And it's a little bit different now because I see her, I hear her. But when she channels through me, it's a different experience. And I'm still being modified. My internal vessel is still being expanded so that my light vessel in human form, my meat suit, if you will, is being reworked, recalibrated to fully embody her light and her power. Because when Gabriel, a lot of you who know me, I also channel Archangel Gabriel. Someday you'll know the story behind that. When he comes through, it's literally a beam of golden light. It's like a golden thread that comes through. And then when the transmission is received, it comes out of my voice as a frequency of sound. So it comes in as a light frequency, it goes out as sound. But it's a very stabilizing, calm, measured, diplomatic, very even Steven energy, very calming. He is a true, benevolent, beautiful messenger of the source. She is a high-powered embodiment of the true divine one mother of all, the void mother of them all mothers. The mother of all mothers from the beginning of the beginning is where the line of Mary comes from. So that is such a huge frequency. It's probably too much for one person to hold in human form. So she is fractalizing her messages through other women, other people on the earth at this time to also connect and communicate messages different ways, because we all have a unique frequency. So some of you, if you're still with me on this here, you're connecting to me, right? Maybe there's something how I'm talking resonates with you, but others might resonate with someone else differently. So there's more than one way to the divine, and there's more than one way the divine communicates through us, because we all co-create together so that in the end we are all one. It is about unity consciousness. And so what I'd like to do now is, with the blessing of Mary, she provided this message for all of us. This is part 2 now. For all of us to receive her blessing. And I'd like to read it to you now. If you are interested in this download, remember you can go to my website, okay, at theroseheart.com. It's under the blog section, and it is for you to print and keep as you wish. Okay, so just as a moment here, feel free to take a breath as we invite in the presence, the love, the support, and the nurturing of the Divine Mother, Mary, Mother of Christ. Thank you, Mother. We may begin. Okay. My beloved children, I offer myself to you with words of wisdom, compassion, peace, love, and healing. For life is full of wonder, joy, and embodied truth. I feel the overwhelming suffering of humans, more so now from those who suffer in silence. Also, in my heart are the offerings made to me from the sick, downtrodden, the lonely, those in despair, those who are dying, and in agonizing pain. I send you love, pain transmuted into light, sorrow transmuted into joy, suffering transmuted into peace. For the love within you, the love for life, your passion, may it grow stronger with your inner will to know that today is the first step of a better day. From sorrow and pain, there is always joy, light, the gift of remembrance, a lesson that we are not done, that we walk forward with grace to continue onward. The journey is incomplete. What many do not know is that I did not choose to embody the Mother of Sorrows. The title was bestowed upon me, and I honor all those who are filled with sorrow, and I intercede on their behalf. What I want you to know is that I am the mother of courage, for I too had to flee when my beloved Son was crucified. I had to leave a place I once thought sacred, and I had to separate from those I loved and cared for, those I came to call my sons and daughters. For my safety and for theirs, during my journey and my years, I grew thankful, grateful for the blessings of strength and courage I carried forward. Even joy returned, and the wisdom that accompanied me, for my blessings did not end. They continued, as do yours. As the mother of courage, if you are open to receive the strength and faith from within yourself, pray, for I will send my strength, my courage to you. Pray that you are open to receive it from within yourself. Then it shall flow to you. You are more powerful than you know. And the coming days, months, and years ahead, I will work through Angela and others to share messages of courage, strength, and resilience. For you are entering a time when it is possible to transmute sorrow and pain into fuel, courage, compassion, and strength. The qualities of the quiet warrior, the steadfast, the noble woman, and the noble man, the characteristics of one's inner strength, inner light, and inner truth. As the mother of courage, I ask you to embody it now and to be open to receive the blessing that flows. Be open to receive how it flows to you. For it may not be the way you feel or the way you think it looks. The mystery of the divine always hands you a surprise. Be open to receive. Sometimes it appears in the form of a lesson that you are ready to learn. Other times in the form of a gift from a friend. Always be open to receive in this way, and your blessings will always flow and not pass you by. I leave you now with grace, courage, and peace. Know that I hear and I intercede on your behalf for your highest good. With blessings and love, Mother Mary. She is here now and instructing me to provide further context. And as I shared with you earlier, it's really interesting and uncanny how Spirit always meets us where we are. And years ago, in fact, I don't know if you know this woman, I'll share another divine being with you. Her name is Claire Candy Huff. She's also known as Angel Ariel. She's been out there for 20 years. She is a walk-in angel. I'll let her explain her story. It's fascinating. She had a walk-in angelic experience on January 11th, 2011. She has 2 books, I Am a Walk-in Angel, and she truly is an angel. You can see it in how she shows up, in her understanding of the divine flowing through us, because she constantly is in connection with her angelic family. And she started using this phrase when I was following her originally, because I still follow her, but be open to receive, open to receive. And Mary, as you noticed in that message, especially toward the end, she kept saying it. It wasn't me saying it, she was saying it. Be open to receive your blessings, because so oftentimes we have a vision in our mind when we pray to God, to Jesus, to whomever. We have a vision in our mind of how it's going to go and exactly what we want. But we often don't see the connections, the connective tissue, maybe a little sprinkle of a pet or a person walks our path. Like maybe you don't know how you're going to pay for your groceries that day, and you're in the line and somebody behind you offers to pay for you your groceries. Be open to receive the blessing, the gift, because sometimes people do that out of their own generosity. The other day I was leaving. This is literally the truth. The other day I was leaving. My friend has a floral shop. Wonderful if you're in Pittsburgh. Go visit Floral Rama. My dear friend Patty, she's a wonderful florist in the North Hills off of, I think, Babcock Boulevard. Anyway, go see her. Shameless plug for her. I was leaving. Usually when I leave, I go to the right. For some reason, I went to the left. So I'm like, all right, I surrender, whatever, where we're going. My car is taking me all kinds of weird back ways. I'm thinking, okay, I'm just following the GPS. Well, wouldn't you know, I'm approaching Animal Friends. And I was like, okay, you're telling me it's time. They've been planting a seed. It's time for me to get a pet. Lo and behold, I walk in. I find this adorable cat with the heart on its nose. I rename it Cupid. I am in love with this animal. It's just the sweetest thing. So it was time for me, just time. They're like, yep, it's time. You got to get that party. You got to get it back. You need a companion. So, like your little blessings show up. Like sometimes we fight things. Like we get mad that things aren't lining up the way that we want. Let it be. Understand nothing happens to us. Everything happens for our highest good. That's sometimes hard to listen to and absorb, especially when you're going through a hard time. And I've been there. I've repeated those patterns multiple times. I get it. It's the broken record sometimes doesn't stop. But if you give yourself permission to say, okay, I'm taking ownership of this. There's a lesson in here for me, a blessing in here for me. But I have to be aware now that I'm on this merry-go-round, this loop that isn't stopping. If I give myself permission to stop it, get off the ride, and just observe it without judgment, without harsh words for myself, with love and compassion and grace for me. That's that inner courage she's talking about. And that's that being open to receive, because once you get off the ride, you start to see life through a different perspective. And that's where things start to click. And that's when you understand you get to make better choices. So by being open to receive, a couple of things happen. We are open. We open ourselves up. We let go of stubbornness. We let go of harshness. And we start to let go of judgment of ourselves and others. We have to be open to that so that we can start to see beyond what I call the fisheye. So if you've ever been in a hotel and you look through the eye hole, that's the fisheye effect. When we have a very narrow view of how things are going to go and where they're going to happen and when what, and then we get very angry or upset that we can't control the outcome because we're not supposed to. If we're praying for blessings, we have to be open to how Spirit makes the magic happen. And I will tell you, they love to surprise us. Allow them, give them the opportunity to surprise you. So that's what being open to receive means. And she was talking about, which is fascinating, she was telling me this offline. This wasn't in the channel. But she said she did not choose to be the embodiment of the Mother of Sorrows. Last month, we celebrated the feast day of the Mother of Sorrows, which was on, I believe, September 15th. So she's saying, from sorrow there is strength. From sorrow, there is courage. There is life again. There's the opportunity to lift the vessel, lift oneself. So she's sharing with us part of her story did not end during the death of her son. She had to flee. She left her family behind. Like all of the people that Christ and her family, this became like an extended family to her. They all had to leave those places out of fear because Christians were starting to be round up, and it was a time they had to go underground. They had to hide. It was difficult. They had to make journeys on foot. It wasn't easy, okay? And they had to split up because they couldn't be together. And she's showing me a really heavy heart. Like that also broke her because she was not only in mourning, but she was also in deep despair because everyone she knew and loved, she had to separate herself from for her safety and for theirs. So, but her journey through that, she also told me she was a teacher. She was also someone that was a wise woman, that they went to her for advice, for guidance, for counseling. These are things we don't know yet. She's bringing information back. She's shared a lot with me, that one thing at a time, right? The message here is from sorrow. We are not done. We are reborn. We are rejuvenated. Like she wasn't broken. Her spirit wasn't broken. Her life wasn't broken. She was able to live out her days in peace. And she was able to forgive and let go. And from that, additional blessings flowed to her. She lived in a beautiful place. I actually visited it a summer and a half ago. It was in Ephesus, Turkey. Beautiful, beautiful place where she lived. And so peaceful and calm and just simple, but yet stunning. So the point is, from sorrow is a wellspring of new life. So if you can connect to that place within you, that spark within you, that's where she wants you to go, because that's where she will pour into that empty cup. Okay, so be open to receive that inner strength, because from that inner strength grows more strength. You connect now to the frequency of courage and strength. You're able to face your fears. You're able to push through your problems. You're able to cease judgment or not concern yourself with the outer world, the judgments that are placed upon us. So I hope that is helpful to you, beloved friends. There will be more. There's so much coming through. I'm really excited over time to share it with you in the packets in which they are supposed to be delivered. And I appreciate you sticking with me. And again, if you are interested in your own Oracle channeled transmission from Mary to you, she is sending the call out now, that you are more than welcome to come back through me. Again, at roseheart.com. Just register for a 30-minute session. I believe it's $60 or $65, and you can choose either a deck or her. She's right here. Like this is part of my mission and my purpose now. So more will come through. But even if you're not, I hope this brought you some comfort and some joy. And you are welcome to save this, come back anytime, or go and download the transcript for yourself on my blog page. I wish you peace, blessings, eternal love, and all in alignment with your highest good. Peace be with you, and thank you.